You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Hey, and welcome to Fan Theory Queries, where we analyze fan theories from all over the internet, but mostly Reddit. I'm Laura.
I'm Michael.
I'm Spencer, and announcement reminder to listeners out there, it's a sad day because this is the final day of Human Values Week, meaning we have special guest Aron Korney with us. He's the host of a podcast called Human Values. It's a hilarious comedy game show all about having logical debates about illogical questions, like what's your price to rob a Starbucks? We're going to give Aron, or do you want to say thanks? Thanks for welcoming.
Hold our hands and do a prayer?
All right, so we'll just start by with saying welcome.
I
welcome,
threw us off.
Aron.
I'm
We're so
sorry.
glad you're here.
I derailed it.
Yay!
Oh, wow,
You're
I'm here. Look, I'm
here.
still here.
Woo!
It has been a long week with you guys. I've had such a blast. It's been amazing beyond. It's nice taking a break from a podcast where we argue about things that are random to be on a podcast where we argue about things that are random. It's great. Really changes the pace of
But
things.
with different people.
Michael, hold on. I want everyone to know, if you haven't been listening to the rest of this week, which you should have, Michael and I have been best friends, but I've just been telling everybody I want to turn on him at the end of the week. I have no reason why, but Michael, buckle up.
With that being said, we're still going to give Aron an opportunity to tell us a bit about human values later in the show. But first, my little honey has chosen an explosive theory to share.
Gross.
It was gross, but I also loved it.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself. Okay, so this theory is Johnny Bravo joined the military.
That was a very bizarre delivery, but I loved it.
Johnny Bravo joined the military and became Duke Nukem, according to Titanic Man. I wonder if that's the guy that emailed us about that other theory.
Probably.
I don't know, but it sounds like a superhero that did not do the job he was supposed to do.
Yeah, they're a failure, you mean.
Yes.
Okay, so think about it. The sunglasses, the hair, the macho tough guy, hey, baby, attitude. According to his first game, Duke Nukem was portrayed as a disgruntled TV viewer hired by the CIA to save Earth. Save Earth.
Good old Earth.
To save Earth from the mad scientist, Dr. Proton, whom he took offense to for interrupting soap operas. Johnny Bravo was that TV viewer. He stepped up because he thinks he's a tough guy, and the government trained him and chopped his hair flat. As with all top secret special agents, they give them an alternate name, Duke Nukem. Along the journey of Duke Nukem from 1 to 2 to 3D to forever, shows him go from the goofy random guy like Johnny Bravo, not really tough, not really good with women, to the tough womanizer Duke Nukem, who's way better at both. He starts smoking cigars. Hey, we got more cigars,
Cigs.
guys. He starts smoking cigars.
Sticks.
Smoking
My bad.
sticks.
I forgot. Oh wait,
For the
no.
Nick.
He starts smoking stogies, and that and age are why he went from Elvis voice to raspy action hero voice.
So, but does he smoke cigars because he has a heightened sense of smell, or he has some kind of psychological issue?
No,
Or-
this is because the military told him to.
Oh, okay.
By the way, can I
also
throw
they
in...
needed to sell T-shirts.
Exactly. Can I just get in there and say, by the way, he grew up loving Elvis, but that wasn't his real voice? We just establish there's a very high likeliness that, he thought that's how to get women. But, there's no
I
reason to
love
believe
that.
that's his natural voice. He could have just been
Yeah.
this
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
dumb kid.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Did y'all watch much Johnny Bravo?
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't watch as much as
Michael,
I did.
I was talking. Now you may go ahead.
I'm scared.
I love it. This is hilarious.
You didn't allow me to have a pregnant pause following my yes. That's all I ask for.
Okay. Is that long enough?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So to answer your question,
That's pretty much it. I'm going to leave you alone the rest of the episode. I just wanted to do it once.
I did watch Johnny Bravo. Not as much as I watched Samurai Jack or Dexter's Laboratory, but that was definitely in my rotation for like Cartoon Network.
I feel like he was a little bit of an unofficial mascot for Cartoon Network, because as little sense as his show made, and honest, I mean, I'm going to be honest here, as little as I can remember of like plot lines from his show, he was featured a lot in Cartoon Network, like those little things that come up. We'll be right back.
Like the bumpers. And
Yes.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
bumpers.
Yeah.
It was a lot of Johnny Bravo on those things.
Yeah, he wasn't the best role model for how you should treat women, but he was a great model for how to do the monkey dance.
Yes.
Right,
That's
Aaron?
true.
You
That
look
was his
confused.
Dun. That was like always the song playing in the background.
Yes.
Like that was like the
Cartoon.
But like whenever he was doing something, it would always be like dun, dun,
Oh,
dun, 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 in the background whenever he was doing anything. I
really didn't watch much of this show, I think, because I didn't connect with the character. You know how it is. I didn't.
Did anyone?
Maybe.
I think I talked to a girl once that year.
Because you said, "Hey, baby."
No, I think I might have I think I sneezed and they said "bless you" and I was like, "Nice." Like I was like, yeah. No, it was more like, "Nice." Wow.
I remember they would have those like foam rubber wigs.
Yes.
So it wasn't hair, but it was foam, but it was shaped like Johnny Bravo's hair.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why did that show exist? I mean, it was funny and silly, and like, look, there was the cow and chicken era, right? It was like that, and like the early
true.
Gennady Tartakovsky's like early Dexter's Lab run, Powerpuff Girls. It was a good era.
Yeah.
Ed, and Eddie.
Oh my god. Yeah. Cat Dog over at Nickelodeon also being weird.
Yes. Yeah.
Lone in the world
weird
is a little
stuff.
cat dog. Yeah.
So let's see. This.
Was All Real Monsters?
Real
during
Monster.
that
Well,
time?
now we're moving over to
It was a little bit
Nicktoons.
earlier.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little bit earlier.
Well, All Real
That
Monster.
was
it was
like
more Rocket
during
Power.
Hey Arnold.
It was like Hey
that was
Arnold
Hey Ar-
Rocket Power era.
Yeah, and
Wild
Yes.
Thornberries.
Rugrats.
Okay.
So, real quick, here's just a little bit. Oh, this is okay. This is too perfect. This is too perfect. I'm looking at Johnny Bravo's biography. He lives in Aron City, and the city is spelled A-R-O-N City.
You gotta be kidding me.
I'm not making.
What's
this
the
up.
coincidence?
You gotta be kidding me.
Because my
Which
name
is
doesn't have
apparently a
city
nod-
in it.
Oh, that is. I think you have a good point.
You said that was your middle name.
Listen, the things I tell you off camera, Lara, we've agreed. Don't make it too fair.
Apparently,
Stay off.
What
apparently
happens? off
Aaron
ca-
is
yeah.
a nod to.
What?
Aaron is a nod to Presley's middle name.
Oh, what an
Interesting.
interesting string of coincidences that don't matter but are really interesting. I love it.
Hey, welcome to the world of fan theories. I'm glad you
I think this
figured
is
it out.
welcome to all of us day to day.
Yes.
Wait,
That's accurate.
guys. I know this is your first time kind of hanging out for the week on my show, but let me tell you guys, this is the way we do it. We got to get back to the basic question here, all right, guys? You're having too much fun, okay? You're getting a little too silly. The real question is, how do we see this connecting? Do we think it's feasible that the young man, Johnny Bravo, who was, maybe 18, 19 in the show, he had the long hair, he did the hey baby voice and all that, is it plausible that he could have gotten into that? So what are factors that would have affected his life to that point before getting to the plausibility? This is what I want to ask you guys. I want to get us back on track.
Well, I do like that the story of the first game is talking about it was a guy that was annoyed that his TV shows were being interrupted. And from what I can remember, yes, Johnny Bravo was a TV viewer. He was a TV fan, and that was a regular part of his schedule, was watching television.
Yeah. I am actually going to come at this from a slightly different angle.
Like you guys do.
So
Always doing this,
Johnny
Michael.
Bravo's obsessed with Elvis. Okay.
Dang it, Michael.
It's always
And-
a different angle. Everyone else is obtuse, and he wants to be a key.
And Elvis actually served in the military for a while before he became super famous. So
That's a really good point.
So maybe that was part of his emulation of Elvis, was joining the military, and it just led to him becoming Duke Nukem through a series of circumstances whenever
went
he
down the
was
rabbit
serving.
hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Elvis was famously drafted, and people were sad and mad, and so much so that it was parodied in a musical called Bye Bye Birdie.
Bye bye, Birdie.
Hmm.
Thanks
Which
for
I was
that.
in.
What a great. It helps so much to
It did.
deciding about this theory, Spencer. Thank you for that.
You know, I'm really good at providing things that matter.
You did say you were looking at Johnny Bravo's bio, though,
Yeah.
right? Or like his wiki page.
Yeah. What's funny is apparently he usually had some kind of celebrity accompaniment. So like Donny
That is
Osmond,
so funny.
Adam West apparently was a guest on the show.
Of course he was. Thank you, Adam West. What a blessing that man was.
Adam West.
Village People, Shaq, Seth
out when they're
Green, Donny Osmond. So,
Donny Osmond
you know,
was a
I don't know what
regular
that
on
has-
that show.
And maybe that's why he became Duke Nukem.
Maybe.
Donny
What?
Osmond.
Because of Donny Osmond?
Yeah.
Because he left to go do Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat?
No, it's
What am I doing with my life?
it's because Donnie kept singing "Let's Get Down to Business," and it just inspired Johnny Bravo to join the military.
Oh.
I like
Okay.
the reference. I like it.
Well-
Not gonna lie. That was good.
Okay. So we've got just a couple little highlighted comments here from Jabam. Johnny's favorite food is meatloaf. And how do you reheat meatloaf? You nuke it.
Confirmed.
Mhm.
Yep, that's all we needed.
We're done. See you guys next time.
Yep.
Thank you, Jabam.
Captain Prower says Duke is Johnny's father via some time travel shenanigans. Thanks for the specificity.
You know, in Sonic the Hedgehog, Tails is Miles Tails Prower or Prowler. I think it's Prower. So that just reminded me of that. Can I totally derail everything with a quick like Sonic 2 thing?
Be
Do
my
it.
guest.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
you are the guest.
Oh. All right. So I don't know if you guys saw Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the movie. Did we
Yes.
see it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why
Yes.
in the world was the plot not as follows? I just watched it the other day and I just don't get this. Why is it that Tails didn't come through the portal thing and be from the future in which Sonic Saturday morning cartoon world happened? You know, Blue Streak Speeds by Sonic the Hedgehog. Like that one where it was like a dark dystopian with
Yeah.
like the princess and the whole squad that they had, the not the Rescue Rangers, what were they called? The you know, the animals, they were like the Freedom Fighters, and like Tails was
Yes.
like with the Freedom Fighters. Like, why was it not tied into that whole story? Like, why was it not Tails came through a ring where he came from the future in which Dr. Robotnik succeeded, and we like cut ahead to the future, and Dr. Robotnik is the one we know. He's fat, he's big, like giant mustache, evil, robot versions of all the animals everywhere, like the one we know from Sonic the Saturday Morning in game. And then it cuts to him being like, kind of, this is look a bit of X-Men Days of Future Past, but Tails is like, I got sent back to meet you, Sonic. You and I are friends in the future. And then the whole plot of the movie is the same plot pretty much, except that Robotnik realizes that in the future he succeeds, and now it becomes like a bit of like a Terminator meets Days of Future Past thing where they're trying to prevent it, so that at the end of the movie we still get to know that in the next movie we're going to get like the real thing. And what's cool is throughout the movie, then when they introduce Knuckles, they get to introduce all the other freedom fighters coming through also. I don't know, I just was watching it. I was like, why, with a few minor twists with Tails' narrative, you don't even have to bring the freedom fighters through. Tails could have just been like, I'm from the future. They do a little cutscene, they show us a great bit of fan service, where it shows the dystopian Robotopolis or whatever. I don't know. That's my rant. That's my rant about Captain
That would
Prower.
be
Thanks for your Duke
amazing.
Nukem theory. You pissed me off.
I wonder if it would be because would that spoil Shadow coming for the third movie?
Maybe
Yeah, I
they'll
guess
do
the
that in a
tease-
third movie.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like Tails comes through and he's like, Sonic, like, I know all about you. And we're just like, oh, right. He just like learns about Sonic. Wouldn't it have been a lot more funny? It's like, Sonic, I know all about you. We're best friends in the future fighting for the world.
Yeah.
It would be more fun.
Yep.
So, Johnny Bravo and Duke Nukem.
I have some interesting.
Yes.
I have some
That
interesting.
old chestnut.
Yeah, I've got some interesting trivia that is relevant to this. I promise. Okay.
Yay.
So, Duke Nukem is a video game.
It is.
It,
Good job.
It came out. When did that come out? Like the late '90s. I want to say because it was on the 64. I
late.
believe.
Well, clearly we all know the answer. We all did our research to prep.
Yeah. But here's an interesting thing: a video game titled Johnny Bravo in the Hukka Mega Mighty Ultra Extreme Datorama was released,
Of course.
on June 9th, 2009 for the Nintendo DS and PlayStation 2, which that feels like
2009?
I know it feels like past its prime.
I was graduating
Yikes.
college at
Yeah.
that point.
Mhm. And then this is even more fascinating. There was a planned film. In October 2002, Variety reported that Warner Brothers had secured the film rights to make a live-action Johnny Bravo feature-length film as a potential starring vehicle
Wait,
for...
wait,
anybody
wait. Don't
wanna
say it.
guess?
Don't say it yet. Don't say it. Yeah. Let's do guesses.
Yeah, guess.
Starring as Duke
Yeah.
Nukem
yeah.
or Johnny Bravo?
Well, no, as Johnny Bravo.
Okay, actor starring as Johnny Bravo. What year?
2002.
2002.
Jack Black
Brad
as...
Pitt.
Oh, Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt. It would be Jack Black
do like
as
Jack Black,
as
though. That
Jack
was
Black
so
as
fun.
Johnny Bravo, whose life didn't turn out the way he had planned. Would have been great. Like still just
Yeah.
cocky.
All right, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you a hint. Let's see. I don't have a good hint. Think more modern as far as a starring vehicle for someone like this.
Michael's gonna guess himself. Just watch. This is what he does.
More modern.
Someone who wasn't as big back then.
Jason Momoa.
You're closer.
Tiffany Haddish.
Jason
Chris-
Statham.
Chris Evans.
Chris Pine.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Ew.
Oh.
I remember hearing about that. I completely
don't,
forgot.
you
No,
liar.
I do remember because I was like, "Whoa, this is interesting." Because this was before he was the megastar that he is, or megastar in quotations that he is,
I mean, he's a star.
and
You don't have to do
He
the
is.
quote thing.
That was around the same time that they started planning Black Adam. Fun fact.
Really?
yeah,
No, that was a little before, but close.
But Black Adam's been in the works for like 7 years or something.
No, longer.
but-
I feel like he's also been attached to everything.
Yeah.
yes.
yeah, because that's the popular thing now.
Is The Rock.
Yes.
Anyway,
guys see
no
the
further
Super-
developments regarding this project have been announced since 2002.
Oh.
Surprise.
Well, Duke Nukem first release was in 91.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was thinking it was closer to like mid '90s, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so here's the real question I have before we before we keep going is, are the rights to intellectual property of Duke Nukem held by anyone within the Discovery, Warner Brothers, Warner Media metaverse?
Let's
Because
find out.
that will decide everything for my answer,
Yeah.
I'm on their Wikipedia page right now.
right? Because if it's if the rights aren't owned,
Gearbox.
so there's no way
Yep.
Gearbox is not owned by
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Warner, unless Warner Brothers Games did publishing and distribution. But I'm guessing that's a no.
However, in 2017, a Gearbox employee stated the company had no interest in returning to the franchise.
2K Games is a distributor or publisher.
All right, so when
So no, they don't have it, but they could get probably acquire it really easily.
or if you reboot it in a less than 100 years when it's public domain, then it's all game.
Yeah.
Seems like we're all kind of getting ready to rate the theory. Before we do, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll hear from Aaron. Sorry, Aaron.
Thank you.
Did I pronounce it correctly that time? You're welcome.
It was actually right
About
the
his
first time.
podcast.
The second time was
Oh.
wrong.
So embarrassed. We'll hear from him about his podcast, Human Values. welcome back. All right, Aaron, there's a question on my mind that I'm sure you get all the time.
Yes, I do iron my shirts first thing in the morning. Thank you.
Cool. Spencer's laughing at his joke. I also wanted to know where you got the idea for the show.
Oh, that's the second most asked question I get. So yeah, where I got the idea for the show, really simple. It was the middle of the night, years and years and years ago. I was just a budding flower in the eye of this grand city of Los Angeles, just making it in the biz. No. A friend asked me randomly, what's my price to eat a pillow? And we just spent hours talking about how you would take a pillow and break it down into the right fibers where you can mix it with chocolate. And then we were like, oh, we'll take an ice cube tray, fill it up with chocolate, fill up the pillow shreds in it. And later on, he became a doctor. And we actually talked recently about how it would cause a bezor. And so you wouldn't want to do it that way. But yeah, so each week we kind of deal with hypotheticals like that. It's just all these ridiculous questions that me and my co-host Lindsay Hicks do. It's usually a different celebrity or comedian guest coming on, but it can vary. Yeah, I don't know. We ask lots of things. We had Zach Sherwin on recently. We asked him what's your price to milk a giraffe, then drink a pint on the spot. We had Allison Raskin on, and we asked her, what's your price to not leave a Dollar Tree for 1 year? One of my favorite questions ever. And we had my goddaughter, Ellie, on recently, actually. And my co-host actually asked her, what's your price to have stinky feet? Like really stinky, like old garbage stinky feet. And she answered it. If you guys want to know the answer is listen to our show. You can get it wherever you listen to your podcast now. Bum-ba-da-bum-bum-bum, waka waka.
Brilliant.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing. And Aaron, thank you for being here with us. It's been so much fun.
It's been so fun.
Recording with you. You've been excellent.
So have you.
I mean,
you've been excellent hosts.
Aw, you're awesome.
No, I mean, pretty much all of you guys are wonderful. Michael, I couldn't turn on you to the extent I tried to. A few times I lashed out, but listen,
Thank
you
you.
guys
I
are
appreciate it.
you guys spending a week with you guys. You're my best friends. I love you guys. I'd die for you, all of you.
Thank you for being here this week for Human Values Week. So why don't we go back to the theory that Johnny Bravo joins the military and becomes Duke Nukem? Everybody ready to rate?
I am, but it's a little sad. How do we rate these again?
The highest rating that we have is genius. This is reserved for only the best theories, which we believe are better than the actual canon. The next step down is plausible. It's a good theory, it's believable. Unlikely is next. It's not a terrible theory, but pretty unlikely, as the name suggests. And then the last thing is preposterous. These are the theories that are just stupid. Basically, we're all dumber for having listened to them.
Okay, I would say since we're wrapping up Human Values Week, we should give our guests the honor of the first rating on this theory.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
As a goodbye gift.
Yeah.
Yes.
You get to rate it first, Aaron.
My goodness gracious me. Listen, you guys.
I know
think
you're so overwhelmed.
I am actually reasonably whelmed. I feel like this is pretty clear. I think that this is a genius theory. I think that this is better than actual canon. I think it meets that level. I think it's really fun. I think it's really inspiring. I think, listen, for fan theories, I think the core of it is, if it seems really likely, it has to be inspiring. It has to expand your understanding of the series in a way you'd never considered it. And I think it does it for both. It makes me think about Duke Nukem and the road to how he became who he was in an interesting light as an insecure teenager who tried to overcompensate in weird ways and then got brought into the military industrial complex. And it just also gives me thoughts about what happened to Johnny Bravo, because until I came on this week, I hadn't thought about it, and I needed to. I really needed to. So I'll say it's genius. I love it so much.
Good.
Awesome.
Okay, so I think the interesting thing about this theory is it doesn't really provide a whole lot of evidence, but it also doesn't provide a whole lot of points to the contrary either. Like, there's not really any proof that it couldn't necessarily happen, which I'm always looking for. You guys know this. So I don't know. I can't quite give it a genius, but I think I will give it a plausible. It's plausible. That's where I'm going to leave it.
Why are you talking like that? That was so weird.
Because that's the way I'm feeling right now. I just want to, be a little bit more musical in my speaking.
I like the way you
Okay.
talk, Spencer. You have a great voice.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You know, I'm not saying this because
Yes, you are.
he's been my best friend on this podcast this week, but I'm gonna have to agree with Aaron on this one. It's straight
Thanks,
genius.
buddy. I'm turning around. I love you. I
yeah.
would die for you. I'd take a bullet for you.
Yes.
You have great judgment. I've always respected your judgment.
Thank you. No, honestly, he already kind of made all the points that I was going to make for this. It just makes sense. I love the idea of this. It makes me like both of these characters more than I did, which I'm not saying I was like in love with them before, but it elevates their likability in my opinion. So genius.
I'll say that OP here took the least intellectual properties there are and was able to link them because, I mean, what a low bar of connecting
Yep.
these two things. And so because they were able to do that so easily and no Reddit user was able to come along and disprove it. I mean, all of the Reddit users we got were just like quoting the show and that's all they could do.
Well, I mean, there was the meatloaf point. That was pretty impressive about nuking it.
Yeah. And they were very proud of it too.
See, I see it as a highbrow.
so-
I see it as a highbrow exercise. It's like, well, how do we take the archetypes of toxic masculinity in the video game, interactive, and cartoon medium and find a connective tissue, a tendon?
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. And that's
perfect.
exactly what they did. And no one has been able to find fault in it. And that includes us. I will give this a genius rating.
Yay!
Yes.
Join us, Spencer.
Spencer, you're wrong.
Join us.
I will
Gobble
not
gobble, one of us.
Join us.
plausible and only plausible. And just so I can keep my hold my ground, I'm going to end the episode. But before I do, I wanted to share this fascinating movie detail that is actually somewhat relevant right now. There's this show going on right now about some kind of special rings or something.
You tread very
We just
carefully
talked
here,
about Sonic.
Spencer.
Not that show. That's not a show.
already-
That's a movie. I'm talking.
It was a show.
You're right. I'm talking.
Let's be
about-
real here.
there's a
Rings
show-
of Power is a movie.
Yes. Okay. Good
Yes.
point. This is not about that show, but it is about a movie called The Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring. Now this is fascinating. I had no idea, and this is a point that people bring up a lot of the times as like a frustrating. Why did they just do this? But here's the real reason. So this is from Reddit user Charlie You Lose. Here's this behind the scenes detail that in The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, the actual reason they couldn't use the Eagles to take the ring to Mordor is that they were already booked at the Staples Center in LA and the Mandalay Bay Event Center in Vegas during filming in December 1999.
I don't get it.
The Eagles. People
Oh,
were always like,
Wow.
no, yeah. People were always like, why didn't they just fly on the Eagles? Because Gandalf told them to fly, you fools. So why didn't they just fly on the Eagles to Mordor? Well, it's because the Eagles were booked.
Because the band was playing.
I mean, I thought it was funny.
I have a friend who likes to rank jokes based on inside funny and outside funny. And if somebody says a joke and
Okay.
he really enjoyed it, but he didn't laugh, he's like, oh, it's an inside funny.
Mhm.
I thought yours was
Yeah.
an outside funny. I liked your joke.
Yeah.
oh.
Well, it wasn't mine. It was Charlie You Lose, but I guess he really lost, didn't he?
I liked your read.
Aw.
I like the Eagles.
Yes.
Thanks.
I'll tell you where I went is I just started thinking about the whole Eagles thing and why they didn't use the Eagles in the first place. And I think it's clear Sauron had an aerial battalion. We know that he had the creatures coming in and attacking, like, in the battle where we see the Witch King get killed, like there's all those like flying lizardy things they have, they tease it in Rings of Power. And
Yes.
I don't know. It's
Fell
just like,
beasts.
This has been Fan Theory Queries. I'm Laura.
I'm Michael.
and I'm not being welcomed back. Sorry, it's been a long day. All right, here we go. And I'm Aaron from the Human Values Podcast.
And I'm Spencer, and we want to thank you, Aaron, one more time for being a fantastic,
Yes.
fantastic member of the Query crew this week. Be sure to check out his show, Human Values. Where, Aaron? Where can they check this show out?
Everywhere. You want it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Alexa, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Deezer, Castbox, Castro, you name it. Sharper Image. We're everywhere. We're on it. We're on everywhere. You get it. It's a great show. It's ridiculous. I'm much nicer on there. I don't know what's happening right now with me, but no, guys, it's been such an incredible week spent with you guys. And honestly, the itch I love to scratch with my show, I get to scratch the same itch with you guys. I could do this all day.
Love it.
That sounds disgusting.
Yes.
I just complimented you, and it was an inside compliment, not an outside compliment.
Aaron, I
no,
will
you guys
finish
are
it
great.
with, it has been an absolute pleasure.
I thought you were going to say, Aaron, I will scratch it for you.
No.
I'm just saying that you guys have a wonderful show. You guys are thoughtful, deep people with a lot of amazing insights. Your chemistry as hosts together is wonderful. I just think you guys are great, and I think it's a privilege that I got to spend this week with you guys. So thank you.
The
Aw,
privilege is
thank
all
you.
ours. And folks
Absolutely.
listening, you can thank Aaron and us for having him on the show by subscribing to Human Values and Fan Theory Queries, so you don't miss out on many more fascinating fan theories and other of those things that they like to talk about on Human Values. They don't remember the exact phrase. Aaron, what is that?
What?
The phrase that you use to describe what you do on your show?
Oh, our catchphrase.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, your weekly stop for logical debates about illogical questions.
That. Do that. Thanks.
Yes.
Bye, everyone. Fan Theory Queries is part of the Airwave Media Podcast Network. Visit airwavemedia.com to listen and subscribe to their other fine shows like All Creatures, When Things Go Wrong, and Who Arted?